Hello, good evening, everyone. This is Life Issue and this is Blessing. Thanks, everyone that's been reading my vlog. Now, if you've not subscribed to my vlog, please hit the red button so that once I post anything, you're one of those that will know that I've posted a new news or a new topic. Kidnapper Kingpin Wadume. All right. The story going round, which I did do a video earlier, is about the 3 policemen that were killed by Nigerian army. And after I did the first vlog, I got an anonymous WhatsApp message. What I'm going to be doing is to read what the person sent to me, and I'll be showing it on the screen while I'm reading it. It's up to you to make up your judgment what actually happened, but this is what she sent to me. Unmasking kidnap kingpin Wadume. The suspected Taraba kidnap kingpin is a petty fish trader, painter, politician, polygamist with many children, and a philanthropist. His wealth status might have been exaggerated because of his generosity and profligate spending. He was reclusive until the last 2 years. His wealth allegedly through kidnapping shot him into prominence. He is at the center of a disagreement between the army and the police, following soldiers' killing of 3 policemen and a civilian who were on an anti-kidnapping mission in Taraba State. The incident is under probe following police outcry. Who is he? His name is Hamisu Bala. His nickname is Why Do You Mean, which mistake for Wadume. So actually it means what do you mean? He is Hausa man whose great-grandfather migrated from Katsina State. He was born and brought up in Ibi, local government area of Taraba State. His late father, Bala, was Hausa, while his mother was TV from Ukum, local government area of Benue State. He holds a secondary school certificate, having attended the government secondary school, GSS EB. It was gathered that he was not a brilliant arts student. He completed secondary school in 2004 and did not proceed to any tertiary institution. His classmates told the nation. Bala, 35, suddenly became so rich that many believe he made it through ritual. His posh residence in Ibi was built only last year. Before then, he was a petty trader who specialized in buying and selling fish in Ibi. He was not even a big trader. He could only afford to buy only one or most of the time half a basket of fish to sell at retail price, a source who knew him well said. Bala was a painter who had partnership with his brother. During the 2019 polls, he inspired to become a House of Assembly member representing Ibi constituency on the platform of the Young Democratic Party, YDP. But he didn't make it. After making money, Bala has been living the life of a philanthropist. In the last 2 years, he reportedly built houses for his friends and donated hundreds of motorcycles and cars to young men and women. He is also believed to be generous to security agents. Sometimes he, alleged kidnapper, goes to tea sellers and settles the bills of tea sellers. Then he gives 10,000 each to the people, a source in Ibi said. 2 of his wives have been under house arrest. His other 2 wives are in Mecca on pilgrimage. It was learnt. So how did police knew Bala was a big time kidnapper to the extent of apprehending him? One of Bala's accomplices, known as Kwaba, was apprehended by the police in Jalingo over his alleged involvement in the kidnapping of a permanent secretary. During interrogation, Kaba revealed that Bala was their leader. The police then allowed Kaba to be communicating with Bala on the phone for over 3 days. as though he was not in detention. Based on their communication, the police were able to gather useful information. It was during one of their conversations on the phone that Bala disclosed that he was coming to Ibi for Eid Kabir celebration. On arriving in Ibi, Bala phoned Kaba to inform him. Operatives of the Intelligence Response Team, IRT, embarked on the journey. They got to the police headquarters in Jalingo before proceeding to Ibi in a white Toyota Hummer bus marked Lagos MUS 56EU. They were in mufti and carried Kaba along so that he could identify Bala. They met Bala at the coffee joint at the junction to Government Lounge. Kaba identified him. To pull the wool over the kidnapper's eyes, the police in disguise went out and told him they bought a bus for sale. Bala sought to know the cost of the vehicle so he could buy it, but the policeman suggested they would step outside for bargaining. It was when Bala got into the bus that the policeman told him they were there to arrest him. After handcuffing and chaining his legs, after arresting the suspect, the operative drove into Ibi town briefly and began to drive quietly out of the town. But while passing the coffee joint, where Bala was picked, the suspected kidnapper forced his head out of the vehicle and shouted, "I have been kidnapped by these people." Soon, the news spread and some of Bala's boys began to chase the vehicle on motorbikes. The operative have passed the first and second checkpoints with only one remaining to pass. Now, this is becoming a little bit, if this is what happened, it's becoming a little bit funny. Bala's accomplice then called the military checkpoint where the bus was ambushed. They opened fire on the bus conveying the operatives and suspected kidnapper. The bus somersaulted into the bush, following the barrage of gunfire. As the driver lost control of the wheel, a source revealed that after the killing of the 3 policemen and the civilian, Bala, who was handcuffed and chained in the leg, crawled and took refuge in the home of an old Jakun woman. The following day, he called his army captain friend, who came with 3 of his boys in red. Our source alleged that the army captain called the shot on the suspected kidnapper. It was around 7:30 a.m. that Bala was taken back to his home in Ibi in the red car, an eyewitness said. On getting back to Ibi, his neighbors and Ibi residents went into jubilation. It was heard that while the jubilation was on, Bala sneaked out. He has not been seen since then. All right, so this is like an insider account of what happened. And while I read this, there were so many questions going through my mind, okay? And because really, this man in his community was not known to be a kidnapper. This man in his community was known to be a philanthropist, okay? He's a wealthy man. Now, I know the story talked about the fact that he just got money overnight, which we all know it could be either to ritualists or maybe he's a kidnapper. We don't know. Well, that is what they are alleging in this, that he was a kidnapper. Yeah. Now, but if he was a kidnapper and there was a tip-off, okay? Remember how volatile Nigerian society is and the fact that many prominent people are being kidnapped. If the police came to arrest this man, I mean, they are police, okay? If they came to arrest this man and he was somewhere in a coffee shop, they should have identified themselves and they should have taken the man out. So there will not be any confusion, so that people will know that, it was them. But from what this news is saying is that they took him out under the guise that they wanted to sell a bus to him. Now, if this man who is well known, who is a philanthropist, who people in his community know very well, where he was, chatting with people, and some new people that came into his town said, "Oh, want to sell a bus to you," and he went out, to go and negotiate, and then the next thing they see him, he's in a car being taken out, and he's shouting kidnappers. What do you expect? Is it this story? I mean, both version of things is not gelling, okay? Now, the army are saying that they thought the policemen were kidnappers. Now, if I was in that particular state, what do you think, as a citizen of that community, a man that you did not know was a kidnapper, you saw him in a car with strange men who took him out of your sight and was talking about him buying a box, okay? So, the question is, when he was arrested, the people around did they know that they were the police? Now, the story said that they were on mufti, so they were not wearing police uniform. They did not identify themselves as police, and they took this man out to negotiate him buying a bus, and then they arrested him. Who were there when they arrested him? Only the three of them that came for the arrest, took the man out to buy a bus, and then they arrested him, handcuffed him, and then they put him inside a car. And then, of course, he started shouting. Even if this man is a kidnapper, even if this man, it was a legal arrest, but because of the way the country is now, because of what is happening, immediately this man shouted, kidnapper, of course his people will go after. They would think that he was being kidnapped by an unknown man. So maybe that's where the problem started. Now, I'm not an investigator. I'm just, reading what was sent, and I'm just asking, was the process followed? Was there in any way things was not done properly? Now, they said something about police, army checkpoint, first and second checkpoint, and then someone calling, let's assume this man is a kidnapper, or he's alleged to be a kidnapper. Of course, he will have people on top because he's already a politician. He knows people. He's been spending money. He has bought most of the, lots of top people. He has bought them. From what they're saying, he's rich. He's spending. Okay. So he has connection. So now he said kidnapper, they've kidnapped him. His people, not just his people, everybody in that community will be calling people that they know. And there's a military checkpoint in front. Of course, they will be on alert. So this story is really messy. It's really, really messy because the army will be alleging that the policemen they actually came to kidnap this man because they did not actually publicly arrest that man. They took him out to buy a bus. This particular version of what happened, let me identify, that was sent to me by a policeman. So it wasn't a military man. So really, if this is what the version that the police have, we need to find out more about what happened, okay? Why did the police take this man out to negotiate him buying a bus and then they arrest him? Did they not think that people will misunderstand or misconstrue their action? They will just start shooting. If they thought that, they were kidnappers, they were going to kidnap this man, I don't know if the army were briefed that man was a kidnapper before. I don't think normally the police would brief the army or tell them that they're going to, that one politician in EB is a kidnapper. They might think if they do that, the story will go and the man will run away. So the army were not aware, they were not briefed. All they know was that people called them that when a politician, a well-known person, was being kidnapped by unknown people, and then they saw the car coming, and then they, the stuff. It's really this story is a typical way things happen when two bodies are not communicating properly, and I hope there will be a closure because everybody needs a closure. People need a closure. Now, coming to us as a society, as a country, it is a pity that we don't question people's words anymore. Somebody just overnight become a multi-millionaire and we don't care. Our conscience has become so taken by evil. And the Bible did say that in the last day, that so many people will be slayed by evil. We don't care about evil. We'll be so enticed that we don't care. Our conscience will be, we don't have any conscience anymore. This man was a fish seller who could not buy a basket of fish. All of a sudden, he built a house. He started becoming a philanthropist, and people were not questioning where he got his wealth from. It was okay. That shows our society, the society that we are in. Okay, if people don't question people's worth, if people welcome anyone because they have money, money has become everything. It has become, we worship money. We worship people that have money. They have more respect than honest people. And until our society go back to being honest, go back to being hardworking, go back to respecting people who are hardworking than people who make overnight wealth, this will continue. Now, the story is still unfolding. From what we get, the captain or the person that ordered for the car to be shot has been arrested. And the story is still, the government are still investigating it. But I'm just posting the news as I get it, and I'll be updating it once I get the story. And we all know that no country, nobody wants to believe that they are armed, any of the armed forces, the police, or any of the uniformed men are corrupt to an extent that they are part of a kidnapping gang. We don't want to think about that. That's why people are worried about the story, because people feel that something is wrong somewhere. And if we cannot trust our military or our police, then who do we trust? That's why everybody wants to know what happened. All right, I'll be giving you updates as it comes my way. And if you have any information, just send it to me and I will vlog it. Thank you. Please help me keep talking about this. And remember what the Bible says. If the just do not speak, evil will prevail. We need to speak. We need to keep speaking. Don't be intimidated to say the truth. Keep saying the truth. And the truth will set us free one day. Thank you. God bless.